R4. I think you're going to find this review easy. It's all about lines. And what we want to talk about here is this. This is a line with a positive slope. We already talked about it here. This is a line with a negative slope. This is a line with slope 0. We had those here. So this is the slope positive. This is a slope 0, slope negative. And this is a line that does not have a slope, undefined. So these are all types of lines that we can have. Now, we have several equations to, oh, sorry. When you see that I forget to stop sharing, forgive me, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're talking about lines and equations and everything. So positive slope, negative slope, 0 slope, undefined slope. We do have y equals mx plus b, which is slope y-intercept equation, slope y-intercept equation of the line. We also have point slope form. So this is one thing. Here is the other. That's page 6. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. This is the point slope form. Point slope form. Good. Where this is the slope, of course, and this is the point. What is the point? The point is x1, y1. Then the equation of the slope that you told me last time when we looked at the difference quotient, y2 minus 1, minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And one other thing that parallel lines have the same slope, m1 equals m2. Perpendicular lines, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, and 90 degrees. m1 times m2 equals negative 1. So parallel lines have to have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have slopes in this relationship. You may remember it differently as m1 equals negative 1 over m2. It's easier if you just multiply and say the product is negative 1. It's fine. Both are fine. You choose. So now I would like us to look at some applications on these pages. You choose. I can never get these out of the way completely. Okay. Now, we know how to find the slope and the y-intercept, but if we don't, let's choose a problem here. Then I'd like to choose a problem from here, and then a problem with 2 points, and then look at the word problem. Hopefully we can fit this all in tonight. So find the slope and y-intercept. You choose. If not, I will.
Can you do number 17?
Yes, 17. 17 on page 44. Perfect, perfect pick. So we have here x equals 3y plus 7. And they're asking us to find the slope and the y-intercept. Okay. So in order to find the slope and the y-intercept, remember this is a point that is 0, comma b. That's the y-intercept. I have to solve for y. Whatever your equation you throw at me, I will solve for y and immediately identify these two. So in this particular case, I move 7 to the other side, or I twist the equation. It doesn't matter how you do it. So I have 3y equals x minus 7. but that's not enough. So 3y equals x minus 7 is good, but not good enough because I did not solve for y yet. What is the last step that I have to perform here in order to solve for y?
Divide 3 by both sides.
Yes. So this divided by 3. In general, I would say do it without performing it step by step or term by term. But now I have to say, please divide term by term. Okay? What do I mean by that? This divided by 3, this divided by 3, this divided by 3. Before I continue, I want to just explain something which I need for the entire semester. So we didn't finish this, but I need to explain something, and I'll come back. So when I write a over b, I can write a times 1 over b. I can write 1 over b times a. They all mean the same. Why is this such a big deal? It is because we have to be able to identify, like I have here, x divided by 3 as 1/3 x. Many times, this is more valuable than this. So when I look at this, I sometimes have to see this. You should always be prepared to go back and forth. So if we don't rewrite it, some students may say, oh, the slope is x over 3. No. The slope is only the number in front of x. So therefore, I have to be prepared to look at this and say, oh, I know, it's this. Of course, there is no reason to do anything with negative 7/3. Only now, by comparison, can anyone tell us the slope and the y-intercept?
The slope is 1 over 3.
Excellent. And the slope, careful, sometimes they may ask you the just B or they may ask you the ordered pair. I always prefer the ordered pair. Can anyone identify? Thank you. It was very good. Can anyone identify the ordered pair that represents the y-intercept? It's okay if you're wrong. Please have the courage.
0, negative 7 over 3.
Excellent. 0, negative 7/3. Excellent. Any questions? So please understand, this is not a trick. This is very important to remember. Okay, next step. Please choose 2 points. Choose 2 points. This is the same. We can choose from here if you'd like, and I'd like to choose 2 points to determine the equation of the line. Anyone, please? Yes, I'm ready. Which one?
39.
We want to look at 39. Excellent. In 39, on page 44, we have 6, 0 and 10, 0. Okay. It's a very good pick. You'll see the problem here. So first of all, I have to determine the slope. In order to determine the slope, I will label them x1, y1 and x2, y2. Next, I will write the equation of the slope. So which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then I copy carefully 0 minus 0, 10 minus 6. How much is 0 divided by 4? I have $0, and I pick 4 of you and give you a share of my 0. How much will I give you? I have $0. I'm sorry?
Is it 0?
Exactly. So let's recap. 0 over 0 later. A number over 0, tragedy. This is not a good color. Tragedy. Undefined. 0 over 4, or any number, I don't want to say 4, any number not 0. This is not, oops, not 0. This is not 0. This is nice. This is always 0. So please remember these 3 things. 0 over 0 is a huge thing later on. A number over 0 is a tragedy. And 0 over any number but not 0 is 0. Good. So then all I have to determine is I have y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. I cannot use y equals mx plus b because none of this is 0 comma a number. So I cannot use this. So I use any point I want, it doesn't matter, with the slope is 0. And I have 6 for x and 0 for y. So 0 times x, 0 times 6, this is 0, I don't care. So y minus 0 is 0, so then y equals 0. Which we knew. We didn't have to do any of this because there is only one line where both points have y equals 0, and that is y equals 0. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Do we need to work on anything else? With points or slope equals this and containing that point? Anything else? Okay, so let's finish this one with a word problem, an application. Okay, so let's look at the profit and loss analysis. I know I have, you can stop me anytime, I have 7 minutes. So let's see, maybe we can finish in 7 minutes this problem. Page 8. Okay, so profit and loss analysis. So before we do anything, I just want to refresh your memory that the total cost function, x is number of units of whatever produced. So C of x is a total cost function, and it has 2 pieces. The variable cost, so V of x is variable cost, plus something called fixed cost. Notice that these two have x, this one does not. So the fixed cost does not depend on the number of units we've produced. It does not. In other words, rent for the building, electricity for the offices, and so on and so forth. Salaries of employees in the office, the secretary, so on and so forth. These are fixed. They don't depend on the number of units we manufacture. The next function is revenue. Money coming in, so it's R of x. And what we're interested in is profit. So the profit function P of x is always the revenue minus the total cost. Money coming in minus money going out. Okay. So now let's read the question. So he's mowing lawns. Jamal is mowing lawns to earn money. The initial cost of the electric lawnmower, so this is fixed. It does not depend on the number of lawns that he's going to mow. Has no connection. So this is our fixed cost. So I'm going to write fixed cost $250. Electricity and maintenance costs are $4 per lawn. So the variable cost is for number of units he's going to produce, and in this case, lawns that he's going to mow. So then I know that the total cost function is variable plus the fixed cost, money he invested on the lawnmower. Next, formulate the cost function for the total cost. So this is $4 per lawn. That's very clear. It's variable. It depends on the number of units he's going to produce, or in this case, number of lawns that he's going to mow. And this is his initial cost, which has nothing to do with what he's doing right now. This is the fixed cost. So we did. He has a total profit function. So he already determined it. Good for him. So this is P of X, which is 16X minus 250. Find the function for the total revenue. And how much will he charge per lawn after we find the revenue? Because we know the revenue is how much he charges times X. Okay, so what I have in this situation is I have the profit function and I have the cost function, and they want us to determine the revenue. The revenue, when I move this to the other side, the revenue is the profit plus the cost. So on my page 9, so revenue equals profit plus total cost. So the revenue function that we will determine is profit. We have it. He's giving us 16x minus 250 plus the cost function, which is 4x plus 250. Of course, these two go away. So the revenue is 20x. Can anyone identify? So this is the number of lawns that he's mowing. Can anyone identify for us how much he charges per lawn?
$250.
How much he charges per lawn?
20.
Yes. So he wants $20 per lawn. Exactly. Because the revenue function is the number of lawns times the price per lawn. And final question. Don't let me exceed what is, we can, it's 14, I can even just start it. How many lawns must Jamal mow before he begins making a profit? So this is something called the break-even point. He starts making money when the revenue equals the cost, or when the profit, when the profit is 0. That's when we know we will determine the number of lawns he needs to mow in order to start getting profit. Very simple. The profit function is 16x minus 250 equals 0. So x equals 250 divided by 16. And I already had the calculator in the background for you. I'm going to divide 250 divided by 16. So he needs a minimum of, so we have to round it up. So he needs a minimum of 16. So x equals 16. After that, he will start making money. 16 bonds. When the profit is 0, and afterwards, he is starting making money.